What's going on, everybody? In this week's video, we're going to talk a little syncopation. And to do that, we're going to look at a riff from an Arch Echo song called Color Wheel. Now, maybe you're a little unfamiliar with what syncopation is. So really fast, all syncopation is when you shift the accents off of strong beats. Right? What does that mean? When we count to four, 1, 2, 3, 4, we tend to be a little heavy-handed on 1 and 3. If you listen to riffs, you'll hear the snare tends to be on 2 and 4. They call that your backbeat, right? It's a weaker beat. So in riff writing and songwriting in general, you tend to have a lot of suspended or offbeat syncopation, which is what we're talking about today, right? And we can emphasize, on the upbeats when we count 1, N, 2, N, 3, N, right? We can emphasize our riffs to fall on the upbeats. And that's how you're going to get really good syncopation. And like I said, in this particular example, it's kind of suspended and offbeat, right? Instead of landing on the downbeat of 1, you'll see a lot where we're just on the next 16th note. And to do that, before we jump into the riff, we can do this little exercise, right? If we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, just the tempo, right? Let's put an open hit here. I'm playing the 6th fret on this 7th string in drop A, and we'll talk about that in a second. Now, we can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Right? We're just after the downbeat of 1. So that'll be a quick little exercise to help us through this riff. Now, like I mentioned, the tuning. This particular song, Arch Echo, they play 7 strings in drop A tuning. That means the 7th low string is down a step, very similar to drop D. That's all we're doing here. Okay, so if you stick around to the end of the video, I'll show you a way that you can play this on a 6th string if that's all you're dealing with or you don't have a 7th string. So let's give it a quick listen and a quick playthrough, and then we'll come back and talk about it a little bit. Now this riff is centered kind of around this rhythm, where I have an open chord, a muted chord, open chord. All right, and the riff starts off right on the downbeat with that. And as we go through this riff, you'll see it shifted over, right? So you have that idea, and then you have 3 chugs, right? Now, I'm not going to break down this entire riff. You guys can download the tabs and see it going on, give it a listen. But I do want to talk about this first part because that's where a lot of the syncopation lies, or the syncopation that I want to talk about lies, right? So you have this idea followed by 3 chugs, right? And then we're going to have an open hit, right? And that open hit, you'll notice by looking at the tabs, is on an upbeat. Right? And as we move into the next chord, which is the 8th fret, F, okay, you'll notice that they add an extra little chug, right, on an 8th note. So now the pattern, the motif of the riff, starts just off of the beat, okay? Again, good syncopation, good songwriting. So what makes this riff a little bit tricky is the amount of chugs, right? That first chord has 3 chugs in it, and then you're basically playing 2 with an open chord, 2 with an open chord. And you can follow that through the first 2 chords, E flat and F. Right there is your 3 chugs, and then after that, it's just 2. Now Now, right there is what I was talking about. They kind of sneak in that third chug again, and you think that's part of the pattern. But the real reason they do that is to get the motif off the downbeat. Then we're gonna drop down to the third position, right? And now the riff is changing. We're starting to kind of turn it around. The main idea happens here. The turnaround starts happening down here on C, 3rd fret, B flat, 1st fret, right? Got 2 chugs, couple quick dead notes. Nice, again, offbeat chugging on these 2 chords, right? 3rd position, and then you drop down to this B flat. And then you have a power chord here, 3rd fret of your 6th string, which is G, all right? All right, so really quick, as I mentioned in the beginning, maybe there's a lot of you out there that don't have a 7th string, and this is still a fun song to play, and you really only need it for this riff. If you want to play it on the 6th string, here's how you can do it. The chords are E flat, F, the first 2 ones. Now, the lowest ones we have on the guitar, the lowest E flat, unless we down tune, is the 6th fret of the 5th string. So I can play a power chord on this one, and to thicken it up, because we're on a 6th string, you can play basically a sus, right? Play an inverted power chord. Play this 6th fret on the low string with it. And then do the same thing for F. And then again, 6, 8, C is on this 3rd fret. Keep that same chord. B flat is right there, down a whole step. Play the sus chord on 1, and then you can play your G, same exact pitch on the 3rd fret of the low string. That's how you can kind of get away with it in standard tuning. This way you can play along with the song. If you're just in drop tuning and you don't care about playing along with the song, you can just play the same frets, drop D, 6, 8, 3, 1, and you'll be good. No issues there. So there you go, Syncopation through some fun arch echo riffing. Down in the description below, you can find a link for all the tabs. And as always, let me know what you come up with. Until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.